So, this lecture will discuss the Project Manager and Scrum Master roles in detail. We will compare the two, discussing the similarities and differences in both the predictive and Agile frameworks. Although there are many different types of leadership roles within the Agile framework, we chose to compare the Project Manager with the Scrum Master because most people associate Agile with the Scrum methodology. Contrary to popular belief, the Scrum Master and Project Manager roles are highly different and shouldn't be confused. The Scrum Master does not play the part of the traditional Project Manager. In fact, the Scrum Master is an entirely new role. If you're looking for a more traditional Project Manager role within Agile, you might want to look to the Product Owner. First, what is the role of the Project Manager? A Project Manager manages the scope, schedule, and budget of a project. They manage the resources and the expectations of the stakeholders. 95% of their job is to communicate project status, issues, risk, and change. Their objective is to deliver the project on time within budget, all while meeting customer requirements. They are considered a leader, a decision maker, a planner, someone who manages the project and the team and is the person accountable to the business for accomplishing the objectives. The Scrum Master's role is of a coach and facilitator, a role that sits between the project and the customer. Scrum Masters don't manage the team that produces the work. Instead, they support the product owner, coach the team, and make sure that Scrum processes are adhered to. The Scrum Master is responsible for the Scrum process, its correct and continuous implementation, and the maximization of its benefits. Scrum Masters can come from project management, but that's not a guaranteed fit. Business analysts and team members can also fit the role. A lot of traditional project managers struggle with the transition because it means stepping away from a highly structured position, leading and steering the development and the team towards a predefined specification. The change controls that are the norm in traditional predictive approaches are no longer there to protect the PM from the risks associated with change. Here's a list of comparisons between the Scrum Master and the Project Manager. 1. The Project Manager is responsible for the project outcome. The Scrum Master is not managing the outcome in an Agile project. 2. A Project Manager manages a team. The Scrum Master doesn't manage the self-managed Agile team. 3. The Project Manager owns the communication to the stakeholders. The Scrum Master needs to be prepared for this only when the product owner is unavailable. 4. The Project Manager gathers the level of effort and converts it into a realistic schedule that the clients need. The Scrum Master facilitates the Scrum estimation sessions with the product owner, but the team and product owners are responsible for the user story estimation. 5. Both the Scrum Master and the Project Manager must be the custodians of the Agile and project management methods that are in place. 6. The Project Manager must use a scheduling model to ensure resource allocation. The Scrum Master is not controlling the sprint length or sprint duration. 7. The Project Manager assigns tasks and monitors task movement. The Scrum Master doesn't initiate, assign, or monitor task progress because the team is self-organized. 8. The Project Manager is responsible for the ultimate quality of the product. The product owner and the team are jointly responsible for quality. The Scrum Master facilitates the Scrum processes to instill equality in the product. 9. The Project Manager is held accountable for the project's budget, involving direct and indirect costs. The product owner, rather than the Scrum Master, is responsible for the product costs and burn rate. 10. The Project Manager must monitor risks and have contingency and management reserves. The Scrum Master is not required to monitor risks. This doesn't mean that there are no similarities between a Project Manager and Scrum Master. The principles of project management also incorporate rolling wave planning, as the project itself is defined as a temporary, time-boxed endeavor with progressive incremental development of a unique product or service. The project managers can use several earned value metrics, such as Schedule Performance Index or Cost Performance Index, while Scrum Masters use velocity and burn rate to measure the progress. Both methods can be used in an organization effectively so long as the expectations of the project manager and Scrum Master from the individual, team, and the organizational views are clearly understood. So remember, the Scrum Master is likely to be someone you've not met before if you're from a more traditional background. He or she is a facilitator and a coach, but isn't responsible for the project or managing the development team. If you have questions about the product being developed, or if you want to contribute to the product, then the product owner is the one whom you need to look for. If the Scrum Master is making decisions about a product, then Scrum has not been properly implemented and there's going to be confusion and conflict about who does and owns what. There you have it. You can be a Scrum Master and a project manager, but only on separate projects. An Agile project is defined by the product owner and developed by the team. The Scrum Master is there to facilitate, make sure that Agile processes are being followed, and support the product owner and the team. That concludes our lecture on the differences and similarities between project managers and Scrum Masters. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, you don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step.